Okay then, here we go. The gold semi-finals for Division 3 of TB4+1. Season 2. We have Snowflakes versus Deathbound. I forgot what the names were. I was about to say Snowbound. Snow are the white team and Deathbound are the red team. Starting off with the Pent getting picked up by Snow. Ooh, nice grenade surf there from Quan. Hiding it up to the top. Thank you, Quan, for telling me this game was happening and asking me to come and commentate it. Getting chased down fully here, but absolutely not wanting to go down. And Dape does not have the ammo or weaponry to be able to take a fight right there. Very nice steal from Amadeus. Manages to get out with the rocket launcher. Leaving Dape with really nothing to show for that Pent, to be honest. Not able to take down Quan, not able to get any kind of map control. Moving around just far too much right there. Getting a bit unlucky not being able to pick any sort of good weaponry up. When you're being chased, the grenade launcher is fantastic, and when you're doing the chasing, the grenade launcher is absolutely rubbish. Quan with the quad immediately goes down. Nice work there by Snow. Keeping that quad locked away. Link now in a fight with Pampu. Pampu comes up, finds that the yellow armour is gone. But defending this tower is an important place to defend. You've got the rocket launcher behind you, you've got the yellow just outside, and you've got vision very well into quad. This is probably the most important place to defend on this map. You could go for church down here, or the rocket launcher in yellow at cathedral, but I think the position advantage of tower, it's not great for getting frags on the board, but if you can get an advantage and control tower, you will be doing very well, especially with the spawns that come up. Nice work from Pampu keeping that tower defended. These two teams are fairly even by the looks of things when I looked at the stats from the games that they've played. You'd expect that by this point in the tournament, but you never know sometimes in Div 3. Whether teams are going to be up or down. We've had some fabulous matches across all the divisions. Big fight at tower now. Quad coming through for Doomy. Gotta be careful, don't want to take your own teammates out too much, but a well-stacked Doomy with a quad shotgun, but not able to connect any shots onto final. Goes down. The entirety of Snow are right here in church. Quan can't manage to get in. Rockets rain down above them. And they're going to hold this off. Red Armor's not up for a while, it's just been taken by Snow. Apologies for the yawning. Long-time viewers will know. And a very nice finish with the nail gun there. Another weapon that's good for chasing. Sorry, good for being chased, but not so good for chasing. Quad is back up. All too quickly sometimes, it feels like. And Quan's picked it up. Plus a mega health. A little bit of yellow armour at the start. Kind of looking low right now. Going into this fight, difficult to get under there if somebody's got a rocket launcher. They can spam out that tunnel very easily. But nice work with the shotgun here. Quan's made a good effort with that quad. It was the very last sort of vestiges of that quad, so as you can see in the chat, it said quad damage is wearing off, so not too bad to go down there to your own quad. Got a few kills, emptied out tower. Over with Link playing the outside. Not sure when Ring's up at all. I tried making the timers long enough to show everything, and it looks absolutely horrendous. Making it long enough to show Pent by making it 5 minutes. Doomy now with the quad. Only a rocket launcher, but a lot on that rocket launcher. A lot of ammo on that rocket launcher. Picking up the red, heading around outside, trying to find if the mega was up. It was not. Now pulling in here. Team frag, unfortunately, on the double. But finds 2 frags, so that evens it out. You know, we've taken control of tower as well. So Doomy won't be too upset by losing that. Quad runs out and holding down church. Quan should take that red, I'd imagine. And Pence up in 11 seconds. Doomy in the perfect position, but going to be caught out by Date, but has enough health to take it. Now DB have got their position. They're going to hope to be able to take it. Who's managed to pick it up? Snow has managed to pull in right at the last second, and Final has picked it up with 1 HP remaining as he picks up that the pent and goes over to quad. Picks up the quad. Now we have a pentaquad on our hands. Only a shotgun in hand, but that's still not bad. Eyes up, trying to dodge. Pampu's managing to dodge. Beautiful flick there from Final. Spotting the eyes. Very nice. Couldn't quite find Quan there, interestingly. But we'll now be moving around. Runs out of the pent. But with the quad and the red and the mega that was picked up, doing pretty well, but goes into a well-defended tower. It's so fast that all your stat can be disappeared in this game. Overpowered armors, but overpowered weapons. Makes this game beautiful. 6 minutes in, the difference going to come up in chat. 9 frags. That is absolutely nothing for Quake World. This is a super tight game on Schloss. These guys are going to be going at it throughout all 5. I really wouldn't be surprised if this goes to 5 maps. This is a live cast for anybody who's watching the ones I've been doing off of the demos. I don't know the results of this game because it hasn't happened yet as I record this. Good rocket spam there from Arneleus, holding down the staircase. Just doing that can force a player to move up. Like, it was fine in this situation because Snow had control of Church, but if you didn't have control of Church, it forces them to go in one direction. If they want to come back, they got no choice. Big frag's going off elsewhere. Quan's just holding down tower. It's a good position. A lot of stack, waiting for this quad to come up, and now we see the advantage of holding tower down. Got a very well stacked, loads of rockets on him, and he's come through and he's picked up the quad. But wait, Date picked up the quad with 1 health left yet again, but this time it's the quad, not the pent. So having 1 health isn't great, and Doomy drops an absolute belter of a rocket across the map to find a mid-air rocket and take out the quad. Very beautifully done. Pampu's going for some rockets with style. Can't quite manage to hit them. Nice fast switch to the shotgun there. Do the final bit of work. A small lead has been pulled out by Deathbound. It's going to come up in a second. 26 frags now. It didn't really come up from... Both teams got a quad in that last few minutes since I called the scores, I believe. And there was 1 pent taken, but it didn't really do a great deal. It got control of certain places on the map, but it's certainly that pentaquad wasn't going around rampaging. This quad's already done a lot more with the super shotgun. Very powerful on the quad, not doing any damage. A lot of players will be trying to move in and close the gap. Knowing that the rocket launcher is incredibly powerful with a quad, and if you can close the gap to a quad, either run away, or if you can't run away, close the gap, run in, because they can't use quad rockets if they're right next door to you, because they'll blow themselves up as well. That's where the super shotgun comes in. Nice shot there around the corners from Pampu. Opens up this church side. Deathbound. Final with a multi-teammate kill there. Only getting 1 frag out of it. Maybe not the greatest set of frags dealt. Outside Mega's about to come up. Doomy should pick it up. Doesn't spot it. Someone will grab it. Good rockets here from Doomy, managing to do a lot of damage even if no kills particularly coming through. And then we see Quan probably cleaning up quite a lot of the damage that Doomy dealt there onto other players. Pent coming very soon. Everybody's in. Who's going to get it? Link's managed to pick it up. Get us away with the Mega as well, which is going to be very nice for after. Going to hide out in this room. Nobody's going to attack in with Pent and a rocket launcher. There is absolutely no point attacking in, but who's just dropped in and managed to pick up the quad with absolutely perfect timing? One of Arnaleos or Pampu managed to just drop from the skies and take that quad absolutely beautifully, stopping the quad. There was nothing you can do about a Pent. You can't kill them. You can't do anything except for knock them about a bit, but in that small room you're not knocking them out of there. Maybe if the quad or item that they're going for is on top of a ledge or something, you can knock them off. But in that small room, no chance. The only thing you can do is absolutely perfectly time your drop. Dropping, they must have had perfect second timing. They move away from that because nothing's happening. At the minute, I think there's just a little bit of waiting around for the next thing to happen. A lot of spawns coming up over the side. Not a lot of players with stack or ammo or weapons. A big shot coming out from somewhere there. Cross-map rockets doing a lot of damage when people are quiet. Quad's been picked up by Zaylon. Snow looking to make a divot. They're 40 frags behind right now with 8.5 minutes left to go. They're going to have to make this quad do some work, so they're going to be roaming with it. Zaylon's not going to worry too much about stacking up and trying to take control of anywhere. It's just about getting the frags on the board if possible. We'll take some items as we run through though. Red armor's up in 15 seconds, so it's going to be a long time for Zaylon to wait up here. In a very highly stacked position, so I think Zaylon will want people to swap out with him and get over to quad very quickly. Doomy picks up the quad. Has health, has rockets. Not too many rockets, a couple of nails. Gotta be careful with this. Difficult position to get out of with quad because you'd want to just rocket jump up top. You normally can do, because if you jump over the top here you'll be able to pick up some health on the other side. But with the quad, you are just going to get exploded. So yeah, you'd rocket jump over, you pick up those two, or you'd go into the quad room, and there's two in the corridor in the quad room. Or come over to the here. Easy enough without the quad. Quick quad is so quick, yeah. You're going down to anything without armour. Weapons designed for single player and then tested in single player wanting to make you feel like a badass, and just can give as much health as you like to the opponents. If they need to be massively overpowered, you can go and give a ridiculous amount of health to a shambler. You know, look at the damage that these quad rockets are doing to players. Shambler's taking 3 quad rockets. They absolutely destroy people. And yet somehow the game's balanced, partially because the items make up for it. Quad being actual 4x, most quads in games are 3x. Pent is complete damage resistance, not just partial. Invisibility is all but completely invisible, especially on a map like this. The eyes on a map like this really blend in. Some of the simpler maps maybe not, but unless you're using Picmip, and even if you are, I can't see the eyes. There is definitely a hierarchy, but the hierarchy makes things better with the weapons having a hierarchy. Because you have to defend certain points, and it means that you will defend a place like this. It's only a yellow armor. Why are you defending it? Well, it's got a rocket launcher, and that rocket launcher can see straight into the quad room, so we're going to defend that point. it makes things incredibly interesting with map design. This map's a very freshly designed map. I don't know when this map was made, but it's certainly not one that was from the original game. It's no DM4 or anything like that. It's a fantastic map though. Pent coming up in 2 seconds, the entirety of snow bombs on the area. They've got this pent grabbing business down to a fine art. Every 5 minutes they have been there. I think they lost the first pent, but what can you do about that? It's up as the game starts. But this pent and the last, they were able to pick up by just bombing straight into the room and taking it. Absolutely brilliant work. And just at the right time. Very well stacked Xalon. Not too well on the health, but look at that. 94 rockets. Super shotgun. Just going to hang around for this RA. It's only coming up in a couple of seconds, and there it is. Now we should see Xalon trying to make up some of the frag difference. We've got about a 40 frag difference, 45 frag difference. Deathbringer's leading right now. But I would say they're on the back foot a little bit. If you look down at the side, Snow have the same. They've now got 3 rocket launchers versus the 1. They're just doing that a little bit better in stack. Arnolaus picks up that quad before going down. So that is a good grab for Deathbringers, making sure that Snow can't take it. And they'll start to play more defensively now, Deathbringers. If the time is coming in, 3.5 minutes left. There's not so much time to make a difference. They can afford to just sit in places and force Snow to come to them, which can mean something like this. A lot of Snow players coming in, trying to do a lot of damage, and a lot of Deathbringers players doing damage back. Much easier to defend than it is to attack in certain places on the map. But if you place everybody in those places, then you're in the right place. Good rocket launcher dropping down from Pampu. Coming in, trying to push for the Mega. Quan's dropped down. Dapes managed to pick it up. A nice pickup. Not too much health left. Gonna have to be a little bit careful. But got a lot of fragging to make up for. And a very nice shot there from Pampu. The defense of DB is working out really well. Just holding their positions. They don't need to engage in fights. Snow right now have to engage in fights that they might not win. And 50-50 coin tosses about winning. Whereas DB, they can just engage in whatever. 40 frag difference. It's coming back slightly. But I think 40 frags in Quake World is doable, but it would be very difficult. They're going to have to absolutely dominate with this next quad. We're over there now. Everybody going down. It seems to be tied up in frags to deaths. And Snow's plan there, they had to get out with that quad. They didn't get out with it. That is not going to help their game plan towards the end. Whereas DB's game plan with that quad was either we get out with it or nobody gets out with it. You could see as soon as they realised that they hadn't taken the quad, the rockets rained in and absolutely destroyed. Really nice frag in there from Final. Shouldn't have won that fight. But was able to keep Doomy on the back foot. Every time Doomy was shooting and getting a shot in, it was up into the air. Final finally managing to get the shot onto Pampu. Very nice shot onto Arnolaus there. And 1 minute left on the clock. 45 frags is our difference. This map very much looking like it's going to Deathbringers. Deathbound, not Deathbringers. Glorious shot there. Final's got the quad and is doing well with it. But there's just not enough time to make it really count on the scoreboard. Especially since DB know that they can just run away. They don't have to engage in any of these fights. They don't have to try and take control of it. If any time that Snow has to wait around for an item, that's less quad damage time that he's hunting. So small bits of damage, that's all that matters. Nice shooting there from Snow. 3 seconds left on the clock. And this first map is going to go to Deathbound. Very nice work. Quan right up at the top. A lot of frags. Quite an even map though. Only 30 frags difference. That is very even when it comes to Quake World. We'll roll over to map number 2, which I don't know what it is. And on to E1M2 we go. A very different map to Sloss. Sloss, a map where you can see everywhere from everywhere. You can control certain points and get into other points from those points. This map being built for the campaign, it is just one long line with a few bits that loop around. Early quad goes to final on Snow. But it's very important to hold places. So it tends to be that you hold a place as a team, such as this yellow armour. When that item comes up, you grab it, then you go roaming, trying to make the frags on the board count. Nothing that Final can really do here with the quad, and on that first quad it is about denying your opponent more than it is about taking it for yourself. But by denying it from your opponent, you can go and put yourself in any position and your opponent's not going to challenge you. If you've got the quad, why would you run into a place that has a guy with a quad? Because even a quad basic shotgun is blooming gonna kill you. Snow just hanging out in the rocket room, wanting to grab this. See this quite a lot in early E1 M2 matches. Ooh, nice. Nice shot there. Link, beautiful shot. Very good trigger control from Alaneus. Holding down, not shooting your teammate, only getting the opponent. Very, very nice work. The coloured items are so good. Yeah, they really are. There's a set of non-HD coloured items which they look a bit better since I don't use the rest of the HD set, but they aren't quite as well coloured. The nail gun is very useful on this map because of the tight corridors and you're almost always going to be running away from somebody backwards rather than running away from them forwards, if that makes sense, because it's a point-to-point map rather than a map that loops around. There's no way to sort of dodge your opponent. If you're moving in one direction. There's not much else you can do except for stop and fight. So the nail gun in that situation where you can really predict your opponent's movement and just pour nails into them as you're running backwards, it can do a lot of damage on this map. On more wide open maps, DM3 doesn't do so good. There's just too many places your opponent can dodge, they can move, they can put distance between the two of you. But on this, in this room, not going to do great. But if you get out of there and get into this room, you're going to just be able to pin nails straight at your opponent. A nice early lead coming out from Deathbound. Deathbound. I'm terrible with names. Absolutely dreadful. Unfortunate team frag there, but it won't matter too much if they can get the quad. Link now. Trying to tie up this early lead. A little bit of an early run away from DB, but Snow should be able to bring this back. Couple of good rockets from Quan here. Very nicely done. Good. That felt like a good communication moment, really. Quan getting some information that the opponent was being forced back and then getting a rocket where they were moving back into. Using teamwork. Push the opponent into the place where the rocket's going to be. That was an intentional teammate kill for Pampu to be able to grab off of a very low health teammate, grab a rocket launcher. Ooh, that is a good fight there for the quad. Rocket going in to deny it. A lot of work's gone into this yellow for DB. They're making sure they hold it down. It's a tough one to hold down because of how many spawns come in here and how fast you can make a move just like that, flying in there as that player from Snow did. So fast that they flew in and so fast that they were gunned down. They didn't catch the name. But you can really get in there and do some damage if you're quick and you've got a rocket launcher. And sometimes it's difficult to get in as well. If you go quick, you can't get out because you're going to push in deep. But if you go in slow, you're almost certainly just going to find yourself pelted with rockets. Very nice shooting there from Dape. Only hitting the opponent, not hitting the teammate. But Pampu with the shotgun pulls him down. Dape now with the respawn straight in. Quad picked up, goes down. Dape had it. Doomy gets the kill. Quad denied yet again. We've only seen one quad run and it wasn't even a full one. The first one went to completion actually, but didn't have any weapons, didn't have any other stack to be able to take it. So ended up just hiding out and controlling this room here. Nice rocket launcher work, Final getting up on top. Immediately respawns. Sometimes it feels like the respawns in this game are spawn closest to where you died. Quan's doing great work holding down the yellow. It's an important item. There is nothing better. The auto tracker really wants us on Quan right now because I've just switched away and it's switched straight back. He's doing great work, but you know. There we go. He's moving on the move now. I was going to say all in one place. Dape's picked up the quad and they're not going to try and push in here. Just holding it down with some grenades through the corner. Quan, nice rockets. Shuts down Dape's quad. Again, another quad has been shut down. It's really difficult to get the quad out here. Deathbound have made a lot of plays between items. This is something I saw in another game. I can't remember who was playing. But the items came up and everybody came out. You know, everybody went into quad and everybody died. And the score didn't change. Then between the items, one of the two teams was playing really well, making frags, and the other team was putting themselves more and more on the back foot. And as the games went on, the team that was putting themselves on the back foot was having to go into risky situations. And they started off in a position where they didn't have to. Another quad immediately picked up and immediately down. I'm not even catching who's picking these up half of the time as well. I think that was Snow picked it up, but it doesn't matter. The rocket launcher's placed. Someone stood in there, they take the item, and then immediately there's a rocket, because someone from whatever team doesn't pick it up, they call that quad's been taken by the enemy, and every gun is pointed at that door, shooting the quad down. That's all that needs to happen. 50 frag difference right now. It's getting out there. Deathbound are holding this really well. Holding this red. For a place in the finals, remember. For a place in Division 3 finals. Great frags. Ooh, unlucky there. Pampu hovering around those sewers. There's no need for Deathbound to push at all here. They've got a massive lead. Yes, it's still early in the game, of course. Still got 11.5 minutes left to go. But if they push, they could give up so much. So they're making very smart choices not to do so, I think. Carefully holding down this rocket launcher section. A nice move there from Pampu, knowing that teammates were the other side. Beautiful rockets there. The quad is up. Arnolaus is going to pick it up and go immediately down yet again. An instant. Oh, wait. Did that just say server auto? Okay. I'm not quite sure how auto track works. Sometimes it disconnects and you have to turn it off and on again. I keep doing it just at random intervals. Big explosions. We're over trying to push into the yellow armor right now. Still a while till it comes up, but both teams want to control this whole area. It's a good area to control. You've got a good bit of damage can be dealt from here, and a lot of people just come in. And as long as you've got a rocket launcher, you can usually win the fight. There's health. There's obviously armor. That's what you're fighting in here for. And the quad is up, and will it go immediately down? It will indeed. Who took it? I didn't bother to look because I had a feeling that might happen. 2 on 2 with shotguns, fresh spawns. Who's going to get the frags? Pampu's apparently got a rocket launcher. Bit of an unfair fight, mate. Holding out for this mega health though. So at the end of the line, so you don't see too many people holding specifically for this position. Doomy's giving up a grenade launcher, I think, there. Or just some ammo at this point. An interesting one. I'm sure Doomy could have stacked up there, but it's fine. Always root for the losing team. Is that why you're a FaZe fan? It's going to be a tough night for you if you're rooting for the losing team. Holding it to 50 frag difference though. This is what we do sometimes see in Quake World, that one specific moment or a couple of minutes loses a lot of frags, then one team gets it back together but they can never manage to get in, because once you've got 50 frags, we've hit, I call the 12-minute mark in these games the halfway point. Because you've got that initial setup where the first couple of minutes everybody's fresh spawns because you know, one rocket launcher, nobody ever has any ammo for it because a rocket launcher comes with 5 ammo. All that sort of stuff. The first 2 minutes don't count. The last 2 minutes don't count because unless it is absolutely even pegging, one team's just going to go and plus back and they're not going to really care about going for certain items. They'll go for the quad rather than going for the yellows. They're not going to lose a full team trying to keep control of the yellow room or anything daft like that. Snow's managed to pick up this quad and get out of the box, but does go down. That is the longest quad run we've managed to see. It was 1 frag long. But that just shows you how difficult it's going to be for Snow to come back into this one. Because they've got to overcome that inability to get out of the room. And that's just an inherent part of this map. That's nothing to do with the way that these two teams are playing. It means that the two teams are playing correctly. If somebody gets a long way out with quad, then either a team has made a mistake before the quad came up and positioned themselves wrong, or they've just simply not fought for it at all. Because it's really not a greatly placed quad for getting out of there if you've got 2 organised teams going at it. Quad coming back up far sooner than you ever think it will. Doomy's in position and the fight is gone. Snow have dropped the ball on this one slightly. Just what I was talking about. They've come in too early. They've lost all the frags in that fight. And now Doomy's managed to get out with the quad for the first time since the first minute of the game, I think. Doesn't need to do anything with it. On the leading team. They've lost a couple of frags since we were talking about them absolutely maintaining. But few seconds left on the quad. We're going to make good work of it in the end. And even if they didn't, they've just scared Snow so much with that quad. Having that quad and the fact that Snow will know that the quad hadn't left the room for the last 15 minutes. So just getting out of there. really makes a difference. And holding on to it for the entire quad length. It's back up so soon, it feels so soon because something happened with it. Arneleus has got it though, so Deathbound again manages to make a lot of frags. Between the items as well. Not really those frags coming out with the quad, more coming out in the fight before the quad, which is why they're able to get out with it. Because they're winning the fight before the quad, they're cleaning the room. The frags are coming back in though. So Snow are doing something right between, and I think it's these minor items. The yellow is very important, and DB have had the control of that yellow room for the entire game. But now Snow are starting to get some control of it, but they've had great success with taking the green and being able to use that. And they've held down the rockets. So when DB, if you look down in the corner, DB currently a bunch of fresh spawns with no rocket launchers. 2 rocket launchers on the Snow team. They've managed to pick up a quad. Not great health on Zaylon, but they'll take it. A shotgun in hand. A yellow now on Zaylon. If he can find some health at the back of this room, does. This is a very powerful situation for Snow to be in. They'll be putting players around Zaylon in a second, I should assume. And it makes sense here as well. Before we saw that it made no sense to take the fight against the quad. But before this point, it made sense to take the fight against the quad. They were able to shorten that. Even though they were probably losing a couple of frags, they have now ended the quad and they can go back because DB was on the cusp of losing a lot of areas. So sacrificing a few frags, you know, we have stack in terms of health and armor. But you also have stack in terms of frags on these games. You can sacrifice a few frags for position. Nice work there for Snow to block that quad off. They're still just in the stemming the flow situation right now. Good pickup from Zaylon. Very nice movement. Those are tricky stairs to navigate. Ooh, beautiful rocket. I almost expect a rocket to just come straight up. You can stand at the bottom of the stairs there and kind of shoot the point where you know somebody's going to stand and they can't see you. And you can shoot into that area. And quite often you'll see somebody standing on top there just take a rocket right at the feet. Big fight on it for this quad. DB have managed to make a good fist of it. And they should take it. Immediately goes down. So Snow doing the correct thing. Managing to get the players in the right places. Arneleus having an underwater fight with Final. Final manages to take the kill because of that green armor. Now, the bit that we haven't seen is that a lot of players have been taking control of this rocket launcher area. And this is what I was talking about before everything went chaotic. DB haven't had control of this, I don't think. They've had some great plays elsewhere, great control elsewhere, but they haven't had so much control of this area. You can tell from looking just down at the side, they never seem to have a rocket launcher in hand. All the rocket launchers seem to have been eaten up right now, though. There's not too many people with them, which makes the ones with rocket launchers incredibly powerful moving into this quad. 5 seconds to go. The fights are getting earlier and earlier. And that is meaning that more quads are getting out. I think it's almost a mistake from whichever team keeps losing these, which at the minute is Snow. Especially with DB getting away with them. Snow probably just needs to admit that they're not going to get a quad. I suppose it's a bit of... They need to get a quad, of course, because otherwise they're not going to win the game. But at the same time, DB don't need to be there. They can afford to turn up slightly later, and the later turning up team tends to be the one to get the best shot at the quad, because they can either deny the quad by just shooting rockets and everybody goes down, and that's fine, or they can keep everything even. 33 frags, so it's been coming back slowly. But that initial, I think it was about 6 minutes in, that initial 50 frags that went out early in the game, just never been able to be brought back by Snow. They're doing some great work to pull it back. Great shot there. Arnoleus going down to final, and final going down to Arnoleus at the same time. Pampu holding out fairly late in the game, but Deathbound can do that. They have the lead. They can happily just hold out these sort of places. They'll probably aim to end here. The back of this map has a lot of health in it, so holding out this final end room, Snow will know that, so they'll be pushing in. GG comes out from Quam with 5 seconds left to go. That is going to be the end of map 2. Deathbound goes with a 2-0 advantage. It's going to have to be a reverse sweep from Snowflakes. What a fantastic second map. We're moving on to our third map, DM2. Hopefully not our last. Map number 3 we go into then, DM2. A fantastic map. I feel like this will suit Snow slightly more. They've been playing more as roamers and a group of individuals that pass information between each other, where Deathbringers have been... Deathbound, not Deathbringers, fucking hell. Deathbound have been playing as a one unit, moving around as a team a lot more. But the roaming gameplay style, because there's only one place to really hold down on this map, but then you've got to get into other places. And that place is so well fortified down here on the lower. You can do it with one player. If everybody's coming in because it's early in the game, you can't, but later in the game, with the Mega and the Red and everything that's in there, go out of there. Ooh. Yeah, the Mega and Red that are up here, you can do it with pretty much one player. So Snowflakes need to reverse sweep this. Hopefully they can take at least one map, because I say it far too much, because Quake World is a game that makes those small differences absolutely wide open. If it goes 3-0, it won't say how close these games were, because the score lines have been close. But yeah, Quake World, unfortunately, one of those games where, especially in duel, look at some duel outcomes. There's just absolute domination. Although map differences do make more of a difference, I think, in duel than they do in 4-on-4. Being a map specialist matters a lot more. Because of course you can balance it out by swapping teammates. We did see, I forgot to mention it, Fluati swapping out for another player. I'm not sure who it was, because I'm terrible with names. But yeah, moving in, so you can make those differences. Nice rockets here. Quad coming up in 10 seconds, so final a little bit early on this one, but nice frag there with the grenades. Just bombing them down and round the corner. Nice refrag on Arnoleus with a lot of stack and the quad and a good rocket launcher. Should be making a difference on the board here. Can't quite connect there. Pampu doing a good job holding off the push. Sometimes if you're a fresh spawn against a quad, the best thing that you can do is to fight, knowing that you're going to die. If you run, you're going to get hit by a quad rocket coming in from behind, you're going to die. Doesn't matter. The best thing you can do sometimes is fight. If you can take 10 seconds off of that quad by dodging around and being silly, because knowing that if you're right up in their grill, they can't use the quad rocket. They can only shoot you with the shotgun. And if they're not hitting their shots quite as well, which especially at this Div 3 range, the aim isn't quite as good. It's still better than my aim. My aims are absolutely dreadful. But when you see Div 1 players with a shotgun, they've been playing with these shotguns for so long, they make it look like a railgun. They make it look like an absolute railgun, and the way that some of them play in Div 1, it makes a quad rail, it makes it look like an Instagib rifle. A quad shotgun looks like an Instagib rifle in their hands. Nice positioning from Link, keeping the high ground. Being, you know, slow to drop. A lot of players would have chased Quan there. But Link playing very nicely just to wait around. Notices that they've got a lot of grenades as well. And just spamming out this teleporter. Hey, it works. You know, we've had to spend 20 grenades. But we've got one frag. Now, I'd stop there, indeed. You stop after a while because you don't want to just spam them too much and run out. Quad coming up. And a great... I mean, Link's positioning there was correct to hold off the top. I think they had somebody holding off the bottom as well. But Pampu just came in at the perfect time and made the frag. Good move there, I think, from Pampu. To get the team frag, it doesn't matter. Just get that frag and get the control of the map and start moving. If you get a team frag and an enemy frag at the same time, what's the difference on the scoreboard? But now the quad can start moving, can start trying to take some other frags. They're really making it control the board. I'm surprised they're not moving into lower rocket right now. That would be where I'm surprised. Snow currently has 2 players in lower rocket. 3 playing around it at the minute, actually. One's just gone in and out. So, yeah, you can see Snow are stacked up. Deathbound have good rocket stacking on everybody. 1 fresh spawning on Elias. Another rocket goes down, but that's fine for them. Good rockets being flung out here from Fluati. Fluatiti. Titty. Both our rows just came up. So that's 2 more rocket launchers. And Deathbound, I think, picked up both of them by the looks of the scoreboard here. There's barely anything separating these guys. 6 frags right now. It's such a small amount that I can do the maths on it very quickly. 6 frags in 6 minutes. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to get the teams to stay in the right place. Yet the team that is red is the team that is blue on this scoreboard. Because... screw you, that's why. I don't know how to make the scoreboard change colour with the team colours. I just know how to make the player models change colour. But yeah. DB is the blue team. Up in the top corner. Whichever team, if we're in... so you see at the top, just underneath the timer, we can see the name of the player. We can see whoever the first word is the team. DB for Deathbound, Snow for Snowflakes. Whichever team is there is the one that is on the left of the numbers. Whichever team we're spectating currently. I'm still new to this gig. We'll figure it out. I asked people for advice and all I got was OBS configs that didn't work. Ooh, big Link suicide, or well, just getting blown up there. Dape shot straight into the lava. Nice work here from Fluatity. Great load of frags before going down. Good rocket. Link respawning in the wrong place. Doomy swapped out for somebody else. I'm not sure who. Team scores. Oh yeah, team scores are in the team info overlay. I can't get a mouse up in the game. But the team info overlay at the bottom. So you got the name, and if you go all the way across to the outside from the name. If you're watching on mobile, that might be a problem. I also haven't figured out how to make this font bigger. So you can change players between maps. So Doomy's probably swapped out between maps, like we saw Fluidity come in for somebody I can't remember. But yeah, Doomy has swapped out for... I can't even remember which team Doomy was on. I apologise for being terrible with players. I'm working on it. This is why I only commentate Duel. It's really easy to work out then. Very nice stack right now from Quan. Unfortunate move there from Zaylon, moving right in front of Quan. A quad on final. Finding Quan. Finding a very well stacked Quan as well. So that's a good frag to have. If Final can hunt down Arnolaus, that would be absolutely brilliant. He's not going to know to do that, of course, but we know that Arnolaus is the only one on that team with a rocket launcher and good stack. So if Arnolaus goes down right now, and does, everybody is on a fresh spawn now. Pampu's managed to pick up a red and Quan with half a yellow. So it's not as bad as it could have been. But yeah, at one point, just for a split second, there was no rocket launchers or armour on Deathbound. But now there's no rocket launchers or armour on Snow, and it wasn't even a quad that did it. The positioning of Snow hasn't been so good this map. They've kept it much closer, of course. But their positioning has just been slightly lacking. Like I said, playing as roamers, so it hasn't mattered as much. When they've been able to get frags, because Deathbound are playing together as a team, when Snow is able to get the quad and get frags and get rocket launchers and all of that sort of stuff, they were able to make a lot of frags very quickly, because Deathbound are always in the same vicinity as each other. Again, looking at the sidebar, we've got 3 rocket launchers and good stack on Deathbound coming into this next quad. No, quad's a while away actually. I just saw a lot of people starting to turn up and thought quad would be soon, but 15 seconds now. We're 11 minutes through and the Deathbound leads by 26 frags. 4 rocket launchers on them. Snow have managed to pick up some rocket launchers. Looks like low rocket launcher has fallen to Snow. They're holding it down. I'd expect Pampu to just make the move right now and go and take this room with the rocket launcher. If he can take this, if he can push up top and grab the red armor that's going to be up in a second, and I believe the mega health will be up at the same time. Oh no, it's not red armor and mega health there. That's up at the same time. But it should be up now. Taking the safe option, not taking the risky jump around the corner. It's a fairly easy jump to make, but it's also a fairly easy jump to mess up. You know, you'll make it every time in practice, but then in a pressure situation, you seem to fall in and then never be able to get out. A big frag lead now, though. Taking that quad, and they've absolutely ripped Snow to shreds in the last minute. Putting the score lead up to 50 frags. Deathbound looking to clutch this 3-0 right now. Again, like I said in the last map, it wouldn't make the game... You know, it wouldn't do justice to how close the games have been. But sometimes the final map, when teams are so far down, they either have a breath of fresh air and are able to push in and take the final maps, or just make one more map. But sometimes a bit of desperation sets in and they're not quite able to do it. 15 seconds to quad. Dape just waiting for this red and getting well stacked up. Pretty even splits on the teams. 2 rocket launchers each as we go into this quad. Quan gonna pick it up. Takes a big rocket launcher but still alive. Doesn't need to do anything right now with this rocket launcher. Just hold down whatever positions he wants to. Here's that quad that red armor be taken. He's going to go through this teleporter for a fast move, and it's a final, getting an absolutely fantastic telefrag there, moving all the way through. Oh, you've got to watch Link. Harry Kane's either a footballer or a comedian. And if he's a footballer, you know he can't be a very good footballer, because I've heard of him. And I only know footballers that are retired these days. Is that Wayne Rooney chap still playing? How's Alan Shearer doing? Nearly coming up on that magical 50 frag limit. It seemed the last two maps, whenever Deathbound has got 50 frags, they've gone a little bit more into their shells, played more defensively, and it's not mattered since that last map. It didn't matter that it happened very early on. Bit harder to do on this map than E1M2. Can't really go back into your shell. The opponent can pick up the quad so easily, get stacked up very well with the Mega and the Red in this corner, and they can go on a tear. And it's hard. It's easy to defend this, it feels like sometimes, because you've got so much to defend with. You've got a rocket launcher right here, you've got the Red and the Mega right next to you, but it's also difficult to defend because there's so many places you can come in. Like, this rocket launcher is going to go up here, finds one frag. Pampu doesn't quite go down to that. Nice dodging from Pampu there. Just hiding under. Does eventually get found out, but survives for longer than you'd have thought. And then here, it's, yeah, just so easy to push in with the quad and do a lot of damage. Quan, absolutely fantastic positioning and just holding back in that back corner. Manages to survive a few quad rockets and gets the frag as well. Staying in there, keeping Deathbound in this lower rocket area. But a lot of frags coming back. Now the lead's only 34 frags. It's come down by 25. Sorry, 15. 15 to 20. Very quickly. Next quad's coming straight back up. Deathbound's got it. Pampu with the quad goes straight down. They won't mind that. They will not mind the quad going immediately down. It's better than it going to their opponents, because I don't think they were in a position, with being almost complete fresh spawns, they weren't really in a position to fight and properly take that quad and control and try and bully off. This is much more likely that people will get out with the quads as well here. As we were talking about with E1M2, I think about 2 quads managed to run their full course. And the rest of them were absolutely obliterated as soon as they were picked up. Here, much easier to get out of. Much easier to control that corner and harder to attack it. Seven seconds to quad, and Snow are in a very good position. DB pushing in. The scores have got tighter. 2.5 minutes left on the clock, and this could swing the other way. It's going to be a tough job. Deathbound have got probably just enough frags to play slightly defensively, but they have to be controlling areas. They can't play completely passively. They have to play defensively rather than passively. The difference being, defensively you're actually defending rather than just running away and hiding, because you will get found. There's not too many places to hide. Probably is a better map with a better amount of places to hide than E1M2, but E1M2 is so easy to defend in certain places when you've got a lead. 10 frags, 2 minutes. Deathbound, their hearts will be racing. They'll be trying to work out what they can do about this. One thing they can do about it for sure is get a very good team with a lot of health and armour, and they can get into this quad, and Snow just seemed to be nowhere in that quad. I'm not sure if they just didn't want to lose the fight and lose a lot of frags. They're doing alright outside of the quad. They've done really well so far in managing to avoid the quad since it came up, and the quad goes down into the lava, bumped by Final. Ape putting in some good shots. No quad needed here. Quan takes a rocket to the face but finds Dape in the end. Coming up on 1 minute left. The frag difference is 10 right now. 8 frags the difference as we hit 1 minute remaining. Fluati manages to pick up the red. That's a very important pickup. Unlucky spawn for Quan. They'll start delaying spawns now, I think. They're close enough that it matters. This has all the sayings of it could go to overtime. Who's managed to pick up the quad? It's Fluidity on Deathbound. That is not good for Snow right now. There will be one last quad coming up. Whether either team fights for it, if it's super close together, I don't see them fighting for it. The scores are tied up. Snow in the lead for the first time in this game. Everything goes quiet. Both teams trading frags immediately back and forth. This could come to a one frag difference very easily. 2 guys running in, rocket launchers. Quan goes down. 2 frags in the lead right now for Snow. They're going to hide. They've heard the seconds counting down. They're hiding. 3 seconds. And they win by 3 frags. Snow pulls off the comeback from 50 frags down. An incredible finale to that map. And it's 2-1. And we're going to DM3. What a final of that. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it from about 5 minutes out, but 3 frags, you saw them just as soon as everything dropped. They stopped playing. They shut it down as soon as they saw that the frag lead was on. This next map could take us to a finale. Or will Deathbound be able to bounce back, secure it? Here we go then, 2-1 the scoreline. Deathbound slightly ahead, but we move on after a fantastic comeback from Snow. Deathbound will probably be feeling a bit down that they lost that and didn't manage to make it 3-0, but at the same time they'll be perfectly fine with it. It was incredibly close. They did all the right things, but Snow just managed to play it well in the end. Final picking up the first pent. Alaneus with the LG. Can't quite find him with the grenade. This is another time where we're seeing the pent get taken by somebody who doesn't have any weapons to do anything with it. And this isn't the sort of map where you can push in and control one area very easily with the pent, like we're able to see on the other maps. But now Final doing a good amount of damage with the rocket launcher. Opening up some areas. Stacking himself up. Good rockets onto Arnelaus and finds the frag. That is an LG down. Quad coming up in a second. Snow have all their players around it. And they're going to be able to take it very cleanly there. Only losing 1 out of the 3 players that were stood up around right on the point. Big explosion there. Doomy's just used the LG underwater, I think. Possibly very low HP. And just decided to take it. Everybody's spawning in that room right now. Snow playing a bit more around each other right now. We've seen that mostly from Deathbound. But Snowflakes playing a lot more around each other as a unit. It's not so much as a team. You know, you could say, oh, they're playing as a team, but roaming and playing around, you can do that as a team, as long as you're sharing the information. CTF wouldn't work if you had to stay together to work as a team. No proximity chat in this. Actually, there probably is a mod for proximity chat in Quake, but no one uses it. Everyone's just on Discord. Nice little hideout for Fluidity right now. Can find a couple of frags out of the spawns. Dape up on top. Fluartity waiting for Arnaleus to drop off. Unfortunate respawn from Dape. We've said it so many times every time I watch this. Maybe one day it will set in that this is just how the game works, but sometimes the respawns are unfortunate. Completely random, but always to screw you over. LG on finals. That's a big pickup for Fluartity in this current position. Coming out, finds Dape. Arnaleus picks up the quad with absolutely nothing stacked up. A takedown there on a teammate that was super low. Will have been told to do that, I assume, because there was a hesitation between shooting. Will have been told to do that to get the backpack. Zaylon holding it out in the back corner for this yellow. Takes it. Couple of rockets down Arnaleus' way. Arnaleus coming back. Once more. Knows that yellow could be up. And now for the first time in this game we head up the tower to grab the red armor. A high position that a rocket launcher can be very powerful in. Not too many people running through that room, so it's not the greatest to just hold down and, you know, spam rockets from the top. But you are in a good position if you need to hold it just for that few seconds to wait until the quad comes over. Quad lost very quickly, 2 frags taken though, so it's not too bad. LG coming up soon. I expect there might actually be a fight in the water for the LG, because the Pent is going to be coming up soon, so people are going to be gathering for the Pent. $30 seconds or so to Pent. Actually, it'll be a bit more because you can't get there so quick on this map. It's not the sort of map where the Pent's taken immediately. Nice shot from whoever was under there. That connected very heavily. Just a random shotgun and then out through the teleporter. Pent in 10 seconds, so it was taken a lot quicker than I thought it was. I thought it would have been taken about 10 seconds. Pent up every 5 minutes, for those who want to time it. And it goes on to Zaylon. Now's the time to use your rocket launching ability. How good at defrag are you? It's a difficult rocket launcher to use because you can't look straight down in this game. Can't look perfectly 90 degrees down or up. Red to be taken. Control over this room, the best thing that can be done. I think that Pampu was just trying to get up and see if they could get a good shot, because knockback still affects a pented up player. They won't take any damage, but they will take the knockback, and in a position like that you could definitely knock them off of the top of the position that they're holding on that red box. Zaylon, if this mega's up, is going to get stacked to the teeth. 2 mega healths on the map coming up in 10 seconds, so correct choice to not fight, not to wait for it. Doomy with a nice RA take, and Zaylon's got the quad. Not much health. Super shotgun probably going to be the biggest pickup here. 12 seconds to this yellow, so if they don't know, they're going to be waiting a while. But with the quad holding in this position, you can hide around this corner. If anybody comes in, you're guaranteed the frag, so waiting around's not too bad. And it guarantees the yellow position held. Very nice direct rocket there. Doomy connected with Finals rocket. Shooting through the murkiest water in all of gaming. We can see through it, but they can't. Quad in 15, it's an early gather. It does look like people are starting to gather for it. This quad on Pampu could be the ticket for DB to get back into this game. They're only lightly behind. but they have been slowly losing positions every time there's been a fight. They haven't been losing so many frags, but the fights they have been. LG is absolutely ridiculous. It's 30 damage a tick, 10 ticks a second. 30 damage a tick, 300 DPS. Problem with that is that people have good internet connections and good mice these days. That was perfectly balanced when everybody had a ball mouse and was losing half of those ticks to packet loss because they were on dial-up. 30 odd years later, might have a problem. But somehow it works out because they knew the LG was still powerful. Like, the LG was always really powerful. So it's in places that you can't get. It has longer respawn times often. Careful fragging around the water. If you get blasted into it, and shoot the LG, you will go down. That's also true. Low ammo count of the LG helps it be balanced a lot. Although you do sometimes see people running around with a lot of LG ammo towards the end of a game, because there are a lot of cells around, and the LG coming up so slowly and always only being one on a map means that people are running around with backpacks full of LG ammo all the time, with no LG to use. So towards the end of a game you might see people, less on this map actually because most of the LG ammo stays in the water, but on I think this is DM4, isn't it? No, this is DM3. DM4 maybe. There's a map I'm thinking of, but I can't remember names. It's even worse when they're DM type maps. And yeah, the wonky angles helps a lot. But if you're out in the open, LG just going to absolutely obliterate everybody, and Pampu picks up the pent. Not trusting to rocket launch up and through window. Oh, quad's up. Hey up. Didn't notice that. Final with the quad, but Pampu, in a game of rock, paper, scissors, quad beats eyes, because if you can shoot kinda near them with a rocket launcher, it'll blow them up. Pent beats quad, and I think eyes beats pent because you can hide, and that's about all you can do when a guy is invincible. Now get all of those in one person and you've got a problem. Nice bit of shotgun play there. You see Link, that's the other thing you can do. The range isn't as big as it is in Quake 3 on the LG, so you can very easily get out of range on most maps. Zaylon now with the quad. Snow with a 5 frag lead. Super, super close. Seems like Snow, if they're going to win, they're only just barely going to win a map. But right now they're playing in such a way that could take us to a 5th map. Potential for the reverse sweep is very much on right now. That's what we're hoping for. The more Quake we can get, the better. Other players hanging around. Not a lot coming up for a bit. So there'll be a few fights. A lot of damage dealt from that rocket launcher coming over. Finals picked up the quad with a great stack and the right weapons to be able to make a difference. Needs a bit of health. Being chased down by other players who are doing a good bit of chip damage. Just constant chip damage since picking up the quad. Unfortunate spawning there. Doomy going down twice straight away. Didn't even let go of click. Carefully waiting. Pause coming out. Somebody must have disconnected. Can't see anybody. Final has 80 ping. We'll be back when Final has disconnected and reconnected. We are unpaused after a reconnect from Final. Apparently I'm not in a player. We'll reload auto tracking just to be sure, and we are on Final, whose lag has gone away. Magic, disconnect and reconnect. Quads up, and Final's grabbed it, so hopefully the lag's gone. Very nice direct rocket there. Don't need anything close with a quad, but it's always nice to hit them. A good hold on this yellow position from Final. Finding that there's no need to really move in and make attacks right now. They've opened up a small lead here, Snow, in the last short bit. Very nicely done. 13 frags with 6 minutes remaining. It's certainly not enough for them to play anything defensive. They're going to have to move in here, especially when Arleus has picked up the quad but goes straight down. Not much health after taking it. Nice rocket into the floor there from Snow. Straight into the water. Doesn't connect, but it could have. And good dodging around this pole as well, but is found. Snow's in a good position. We've got a couple of players hanging out at that rocket launcher just there. Huge rocket over the top. Fluati goes down. Unless can't figure out where they're being shot from. Figures it out this time. And we're all heading outside for the pent. Zaylon's picked it up. The quad's coming up very, very shortly. Can Zaylon manage to get across to take the quad with the pent? Someone's picked up the quad for sure there, but it's a pent ring. Glowy eyes. Not taking the rocket launcher, but, sorry, the red armor. We do see teammate take it. Oh wait, if you've got... I don't think I've ever spectated someone with eyes or been paying attention. I just realised that the... I've definitely have... Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Actually, let's go on final. There we go. Okay, no, the quads ran off. Anyway, pent's gone, quad's gone. Cool. Yeah, when you've got the eyes, your weapon disappears. I only just realised that one. I don't think I've properly spectated. I normally play with weapons off anyway, so it probably didn't register. I spotted it and thought, hold on, did I mess up and turn weapons off? And I've been commentating this entire game with weapons off. Nice quad pickup. Just immediately picked up the quad, started firing the nail gun. And it did some good work. It did some good work. A good lead here for Snow. They're really putting in a case right now. It's going to take a good comeback from DB to come back into this. And otherwise it's going to a final map decider. It could have gone so far away. But if it goes to a final map decider, that absolutely does show off the skill difference between these two teams. Because it's not a lot. The difference between these two teams is really not a lot. Good rockets there from final. Connects well. Quad coming up. And it's taken by Arnolaus. This is their chance to get back into it. They need a really good quad, but Arnolaus doesn't have much health. 3 mega health on this map, and all 3 of them are coming up right now, and Arnolaus hasn't gone towards any of them. Going towards the red. Much easier to time. If anybody doesn't know the timing on the mega, it is 20 seconds after the person who took it drops below 100 health. So if they have 101 health and they pick it up and then immediately drop it because it ticks down over 100, then the 20 seconds starts straight away. If it takes a minute and a half or whatever the tick rate is, I'm not sure, and they just stood around, then that's when the 20 seconds kicks in. So it's very difficult to time unless you see someone pick it up and hit them with a rocket launcher. Then it's quite easy to time. Much easier in duel, but even then it's vibes based. I like it because timing stresses me out. Proper timing. Minute and a half left on the clock. Arnolaus making good use of this quad. Not able to get too much on the board, which is unfortunate for them, but able to get control over a couple of places. This red armor room, they've got a decent control over both rooms either side of the quad room as well, which is quite good for them. But the score might have just gone too far out right at the end. Only in the last couple of minutes, you know, we were paused up at 14 minutes, I think we were paused up at. And the score difference was a handful, counting on one hand sort of thing. Maybe one hand if you're a bit of a mutant, but 34 frags now with 1 minute left to go. We are going to a final map decider. Arnolaus with the last quad. This could be important just mentally. I don't think these teams really seem to get too fussed. Snow certainly didn't, about losing certain maps and being behind at the start. They didn't let it get to them. Certainly with that comeback on the last map. Absolutely phenomenal. But a good end to this map going into the final frame could really help DB. You know, they were ahead. They've been ahead this entire game, and then we're going to a final map decider. It's going to be a good one. It is going to be a very, very good one. Heading over to Phantom Base. I'm pretty sure it's Phantom Base, not Quabblestone. I'd love to see Quabblestone. Love playing Quabblestone. But we're going over to Phantom Base for this final map. It is going to be an epic decider. I'm not even going to pause the recording because I think we're going to get in so quickly. This map, though, we have... I'm trying to think which team this suits more. The togetherness playstyle of DB or the Roma playstyle. It's a very good decider map, I think, for these two teams. Quad and Pent come up in the same place, just next to each other. So the fights for those two are epic. They're not quite in the same room, but yeah, you can see one from the other. Meaning the fights for those are epic. It's a mix between the maps that we've seen before, with the quad being very takeable and immediately you're dead, which suits DB a lot. But Snow, if they get on a run, Snow seems to be better with the quad, from what I've seen, and it's very much possible to get out with a quad on this, unlike E1M2, where you've practically got no chance of getting out with a quad. But that Roma playstyle that Snow has does help them there. So it's going to be a very close map. I've got absolutely no potential way of calling it. It looks like there is going to be a player swap for DB. We'll give it... Everybody readying up by the looks of things. And here we go. Have we only got 3 players on DB? Never mind. We'll pause, and then we'll come back when everybody is ready. Here we go, everybody's here. I was having a yawn. Sorry. I was having a yawn and then they readied up. I was trying to get the yawn out the way before they did that. The final map, the decider. I've forgotten to change the number. It's actually the decider. There we go. Phantom base. Arnelaus has picked up the invisibleness. Link has the pent. And I didn't quite see who has the quad. I just saw it pop up in the top chat, but then it disappeared before I could read the name. By the looks of things, the quad might have gone down. Pent here to take the rocket launcher. And then to try and use the last few seconds of this pent to scare off anybody from getting in and take that rocket launcher area. Next quad will be coming up sooner than you think. At the start of this map. So much to do. And so little time. Oops, didn't mean to type that in. I was trying to turn auto tracking on. A slow start to the map. Not too many frags coming out. Both teams just trying to hide around. Quads up. Doomy's got it. Not got much on his back. Gets a green armour. You could go around trying to frag with this quad and run out of shotgun ammo there. So glad he's picked up a backpack. Super shotgun now. He'll be happy with that. Can't quite connect with Zaylon. Goes for a shot through the side. Tickling toes with that. Well, more than a tickle if that were to hit you. Zaylon, Doomy knows he's there, and Zaylon, beautiful work. Must have been able to see through there. To be able to play that and only turn up when he came out. Link pushes in, gets taken down by a rocket launcher, gets traded though. The score difference very close still. Final won't be happy that so much of that health's gone. Quad goes down pretty quick, gets a couple of frags though. Everybody moving into this back area where there's normally a lot of health, but right now nothing's up. Link takes the RA, gets hit by 2 good rockets, and Dape's down as well. YA on the back of Arnelaus looking at the chat there. 5 health survival from Quan, beautiful rocket launcher. Opens things up somewhat for him. Now he's got... This is the map I was thinking of. This is the map I was thinking of where everybody ends up with a ton of LG ammo. Great rocket launcher coming out here from Link. Yeah, LG's OP. The long kind of... Well... long but not so long sight range where you can't quite duck in behind awkward geometry, and there's a lot of LG ammo dotted around, so people accidentally end up with LG ammo. So as soon as you get the LG, if you can pick up a couple of backpacks, you're almost certainly going to have 30-40 LG. But yeah, again, balanced by 2 rocket launchers, balanced by... The LG's in a bit of an awkward place to go and pick up. Whereas the rocket launchers are pretty easy. And overall, there just seems to be more health on this map as well. So people are less likely to just get tickled to death by an LG. You know, it's not a tickle, but there's a chance to be fought against. Yeah, it interests me that I never played this map at all before seeing it in TB4. In fact, I've only played it in Deathmatch. I haven't been able to get a pickup on it. And yet it's in the Big 4. That said, anytime I've played Quake World, it's mostly been for duels rather than mixes, because it can be difficult to get into them. For anybody watching this, join Quake World Mix League. It's much easier to get lower level duels in that than it is by joining random servers. And there's a bunch of people that are very willing to help you, very willing to play with handicaps even. Quite a lot of people. Quan picking up this pent. A little bit of downtime for me to very late in the video. If you watch this far, you owe it to yourself to play the game, innit? It's that sort of thing. You've watched an hour and a half of a match. Pentaquad on Quan now. Can you pick up the eyes as well? Are the eyes up anytime soon? Would be madness. But it's a nice pentaquad grab. Everybody just running away. Ooh, nice shot onto Date. Quad still on. Bad respawns from a couple there. And Quan goes down to his own rocket. Heading up to the 6-minute mark. An important mark of the game. We're now solidly into the middle of the map. And Deathbound are 16 frags in the lead. Looking to make it more as this quad comes up. Snow moves in. But Deathbound are there already and they don't all go down. Pampu, the last one surviving from Deathbound. Takes this red with an LG, with a rocket launcher, with a good amount of stack. Could make this quad dangerous, but can't seem to find anybody. When he does, it's only one. Great frag onto Link, who gets flung straight up into the middle of the air. Quad wears off. Can't quite get that final quad rocket out. Link snags that. Oh no, Final snags that. Snags that red. It's a cheeky red. It's difficult to defend from on the red point, and it's such a one that you can just get in, sneaky, snag it, and get out. 9 frags the lead now. Very interesting in the last minute what's happened, that the quad was being woofed around by Pampu. Nobody managed to get in, and the frag lead actually came down for the team who took the quad. It's that playing around the quad and what happens at the other side of the quad. If you look down on the side right now, we've got a lot of weapons on DB. They're looking good, but the stack is all on Snow. Unless using the quad to hold off and take this position, it's a good position for them to hold. They'll leave a player there, I should expect. And Arleneus will go out on the hunt. Stacked up well with a rocket launcher. Takes a lot of damage. Gets a good frag with a flick. Getting down into the mega. Link looking the wrong way. Arleneus has got a lot of cells like we were talking about. Pampu's here, taking the fight, gets the quad. Very nice move. Dape doesn't realise the quad's up. Pampu just happened to see it out the corner of their eye. And Zaylon, the next to fall to the power of the almighty quad. Mega health up in about 5 seconds, so there is a chance that Pampu waits around for it. Does move on though. Gets a team frag. Not the greatest quad. Went as a roamer. Weren't able to take control of any positions and wasn't able to find too many frags there. But it does deny it from your opponent, so that's absolute minimum of taking the quad, is that you deny it from your opponent, which is very important. Both teams look pretty evenly stacked, other than Quan with the red, which takes a lot of damage and goes down to 19 health, so less so now. 2 rocket launchers on each team, an LG on... okay, never mind. Anytime I talk about who's got what weapons, immediately whatever weapons I'm talking about die and get lost. So ignore me anytime I talk about weapons. Imagine that I was talking about them like 30 seconds before when it was still true. What a shot. Very good rocket splitting the pack there. Snow are slightly on the back foot. We're heading up to the halfway mark. Three players from Snow waiting around for this pent. Quad's up in 10 seconds, so it'll be pick up the quad and then, pick up the pent, and then Snow should be getting over for the fight at the quad right now. Chasing down Pampu, who's got a lot of health, taking a lot of shots. Finals taking this. Who's got the quad? Pent is more important, I do admit. A lot of rockets needed to get up there. The nerves might be setting in right now for Snow. They're at the end of this fight. There's a long time to go. The quad's coming through. Doomy's got it. As soon as the pent ran out, Doomy was in there with the quad, making damage. DB have got a good score lead. On the verge of being reverse swept. They won't be comfortable with this score lead. I mean, they've had 50 frags come back on in 5 minutes. We're only halfway through this game. Quad up sooner than you think every time. Doomy on it again, but this time with low health. Last time Doomy picked it up, they had great health. This time a little bit less. Nice shot onto Link. Link respawns in a bad place, but dodges a couple of rockets. Doomy's going to pick this up. Should be able to grab some health now and make the most of this last few seconds of quad. Scaring off all of the opponents. Does find one as soon as the quad ends. You don't need it for a fresh spawn with a rocket launcher. Great dodging there from Final, but unfortunately Doomy just doesn't leave the room fast enough. Final is found. 23 frags now our difference at 12 minutes. Great rockets coming into that room. Everybody's going down. It's a fight for the quad. Everybody in position. Who's going to grab it? DB look like they're in the best position. They seem to have won the fight this time against Snow. Snow are going to need a quad. If we watch, Deathbound are going to be perfectly happy to not really use this quad. I think that Quan will be looking to just kind of station in a place and doesn't have any... Yeah, didn't have a rocket launcher before. So happy to just hold off and make sure that Snow aren't really taking fights with them. Snow went and hid and made sure that they weren't losing too many frags in that moment. 25 frag difference, 24 frag difference at the 13-minute mark. Oh, good rocket onto Dape there. Quads come up. Link's managed to pick it up. Perfect playing from Snow there. Deathbound just not really anywhere to be seen. They didn't seem to want to take the fight before the quad came up. And they just weren't quite as well timed as they have been on doing the denial strategy. Quad moving in, but it can't quite get the shots off and goes down without having too much impact. And now Deathbound knows that the quad is down. They'll be hanging it around, not worried anymore. Deathbound looking in a much better position than Snow. Higher stacks, more weapons on their team. Quad comes up sooner than you think, as always. Might as well get that printed on a t-shirt. And a 30 frag difference. Basically 5 minutes to go. It can absolutely be overcome. We've seen it happen from Snow before. But now is the point. They're going to have to take control before probably the 16-minute mark. They're going to have to get this next Yeah, the next pent's going to be very important. The next pent is going to be very important because I reckon whoever gets the next pent will be able to take control of at least one major resource. This red, they'll completely lock it out for a bit, a couple of minutes. They'll have it completely locked out. And that's an important point to be taking. Pent's about to come up, 3 seconds, everybody's in. 10 seconds after the pent is going to be the quad, so we will be seeing a pentaquad, I imagine. Who's managed to grab the pent? It's coming up late, and Pampu's managed to get it. That is not good for Snowflakes. They're going to have a pentaquad on their hands. Because what can you do? And in that position, you can just stand exactly on the quad spawn point, because all a rocket launcher knockback is going to do is knock you back into the wall, and you're going to walk forwards and you're going to take it again. Quad pent taking the red comes up in a sec. Oh, he's going to move out. Move out to help a teammate. Pent's worn off. And like I said, they're going to use the pent to hold down this point. They've locked down that red. That red is free for them until at least the 17-minute mark, I would imagine. As long as they keep a player positioned kind of close to it at all times. Going to be getting a pause coming out quickly. Who's lagging this time? Looks like Snow with a little bit of packet loss, and we'll be back when that is sorted. We are back in. Whoops. 4 minutes to go. Just under 20 frags the difference, 15 frags the difference. So that pentaquad not doing much, and actually I missed what was going on elsewhere. But it seems like Snow brought back a few frags. They've picked up the quad. Link's got it. It goes immediately down. But that's good news for Snow. Keeping the difference at 15 frags. They're looking good right now. Quan the only one stacked up. Doomy now managing to get stacked up as well, actually, on Deathbound. Nice frag onto Pampu. This is going to go down to the wire. What an exceptional set of matches we have had so far for this game. Everybody going down. Quad's up. Quan's got it. There's a rocket launcher in his hand. There's a super shotgun as well. He's making that count absolutely beautifully. 2 frags in quick succession. Takes the red armor. And now we'll use this last little bit of the quad to really bully Snow out of places. Doesn't need to make too much on the scoreboard. Just needs to make sure that the places that DB want to hold don't have any Snow players in them right now. Nice rocket surf. Gets up. Going to be able to take this red armor. All about control that last quad was. They've locked down this red armor. But look in the background. When we're not paying attention, it seems like Snow can't get a frag on camera. They've managed to even things up. They've picked up this this quad. Second to last quad of the game. The final quad this time is going to fall with a good amount of time remaining to use it. Last time it didn't get picked up because it was only 5 seconds from the end. Nice work here from Snow. But again, having the quad, and it's being kept even by the frags that we're seeing outside of the quad's range. Great fragging from Doomy. That red armor being picked up by Pampu, saving him. I'm just watching the score. It's going up elsewhere. There's 50 seconds left. There's 2 frags in it. 1 frag. This could go to overtime like the last map. Look at the frags coming out. Everything. Arnalaeus gets 2. Quad comes up. Final quad goes to Doomy. This is bad for Snow. What can they do? They can't hide from... They have to hide from the quad, but they can't hide from the entire team. DB are going to play around each other here. They're going to try and link up with Doomy because you can't hide from the entire team. 7 frag lead. Doomy goes down straight to a rocket. Slightly misplaced. 5 frags, 5 seconds. It's GG. In the final seconds, Snowflakes almost bring it back. But Deathbound with the final quad just at the right time. Take it to the line, get it over, get it done. They came so close in so many rounds. Every map, they won the first 2 obviously, and then every map after was super close. Finally clutching it out. Absolutely incredible games. 5 fantastic games, and that is not even the final, that is only the semi-final. So we'll see you sometime for the final as Deathbound carry on. Very, very well played to everybody, and thank you for watching.